morning, everybody. Again, welcome. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Matt Rauscher. I have the honor and the privilege of commanding the 2nd Battalion, 6th Defense Artillery. We got to meet you before we start. I told this family they're here for their soldier. They get to represent all the families for all the soldiers that couldn't be here today. I was just telling them we were trying to set it up so we could run a live broadcast today. The camera, we had an order to do that, just arrived today, but it has to go through processing just like we do as soldiers. So we didn't have it for this morning. But we are going to videotape it and we'll put it up on YouTube as well, and we'll get it out to all the soldiers so you get it to your family so you can see you graduate whole. Great job on the video. That was outstanding. If that doesn't motivate you, I don't know what will. I'll tell you, during their time here, it has been a privilege and honor having them with us. Not only they graduate from basic training, they come to us, and we have them, they're soldiers. Our job now is to turn them into air defenders. And air defending, being an air defender is a unique job. Other than medics, we're really the only other branch that our sole responsibility is to save lives on the battlefield. That's what we do. You can see it from all the technical and all the radios. It's hard to kind of equate with all the stuff they do, but if they're going to boil it all down, our job is to save lives on the battlefield. And then our other responsibility is preparing for the first duty assignment. Rather than make that hard right choice over the easy wrong every time. You can see even from the video clip all the volunteering that they did here. And I'll tell you, these soldiers had a great opportunity to be part of several Special Olympics, but we did the outdoor Special Olympics, summer games here about 3 weeks ago. 500 athletes, 700 volunteers. And I think I can speak for everybody in this ring, it changed our lives. It gave them an opportunity to see that as hard as basic training was and all the studying they do here, their lives are not nearly as bad as they thought they were until they saw these kids who all they want to do is just be part of life and love life. And they respond, this young soldier, there was a young kid was there on a full respirator, and he was in the gym, and they wanted to, all he wanted to do was be part of it. And so there was a blanket, they put on a blanket, he wanted to be part of that, so he put on the blanket, and then the soldiers carried his respirator around the gym with him, so they could run him around the gym. And they finished, and he got done, and they said, how'd you like it? He goes, I want to go again. So they took him around again. So I mean, it's just part of being a soldier, part of giving back to what we do. And you know that well, sir, your 24 years of service. So thanks for that, and thanks for being here. Again, we've talked several times, but all I want you to do now is go out and make yourself proud, make your family proud.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem and remain standing for the entrance of the official party and the invocation. Dear Lord, we thank you for these graduating air defenders. They are the young and vibrant soldiers of the future. They have the knowledge. Now give them the wisdom to defend our nation. They have the skills. Now give them the dedication to employ those skills. We ask these graces and blessings in your holy name. Amen. Please be seated. Colonel Spellman, Command Sergeant Major Wiggins, Colonel Simler, Lieutenant Colonel Lauscher, Command Sergeant Major Neal, Captain O'Master, First Sergeant Gaines, Captain Roberson, First Sergeant Wilson, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, class members of 14 Hotel, 14 Sierra, Class 004-14. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the platoon sergeant for 14 Hotel Class 004-14, Staff Sergeant Promotable Williams. And also the primary instructor for 14 Sierra, Class 004-14, Staff Sergeant Alvarado. On behalf of the brigade commander, the brigade command sergeant major, the battalion commander, the battalion command sergeant major, I would like to congratulate all members of 14 Hotel, 14 Sierra, Class 004-14. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I would like to introduce the class mentor for 14 Hotel, 14 Sierra, Class 004-14, Sergeant Major. Sergeant Major Newman entered the U.S. Army in 1986 as a 16 Romeo Vulcan crewman. He has held every leadership position from Vulcan crewman to his current assignment as the Operations Sergeant Major for 3rd Battalion, 6th Air Defense Artillery Regiment. His highest military award is the Bronze Star Medal with 1 oblique Buster. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a warm welcome for Sergeant Major Newman.
Distinguished guests, sergeants major, family, friends, and most importantly, the newest graduates of 14 Sierra Class 04-14, 14 Hotel Class 04-14. Good morning. I have to admit that when I was first approached by Sergeant Major Neal and Sergeant Major Mumpower to be the guest speaker for today's ceremony, I was at a loss of what I could possibly say in 3 to 5 minutes that would leave a lasting impact on you as y'all went back into the force for the first time or returned to your guard units back in your home states. Lucky for me, I had a few days to figure it out. So I came up with 3 key thoughts that each you can take away with you as you leave here today. The first is that you should never feel like you have reached the point in your career where you think you have learned everything that you need to know. Knowledge is power. There's another way to explain it. If you remember back to your cartoon days when you were little kids, even G.I. Joe had it figured out. When he used to say, knowing is half the battle. The more you know about your job and your profession, the better soldier you will be for your units, and eventually the better leader that you will be for your soldiers. One thing about the Army is that as much as it seems to never change, there's always something new to learn. Regulations and policies are updated from one year to another. New equipment upgrades take place. And as military professionals, you'll be required to have achieved a certain level of base knowledge before you can be promoted to the next rank. Equally as important as your professional knowledge is your continued pursuit of personal knowledge. In other words, going to college. Do not fall into the thinking trap that you do not have enough time to go to college while you're on active duty. There is always time, even when you're deployed. I'm not saying that you need to go get enrolled today after graduation, but as soon as you get settled into your next duty station or back home, it should definitely be on your short list of things to do. Secondly, travel and enjoy the time regardless of where you are or where you find yourself. Too many times in my own career, I've heard people complain about where they were stationed and saying that there was nothing to do. I might even have been one of those people myself. Well, I'll tell you that if you choose to stay in the barracks every weekend and play video games, or whatever it is that you decide to do, that those people are probably 100% right. I would challenge you to travel and explore your surroundings. For most of you, you will find yourself in places that if you were not in the Army, you would never have visited there in the first place, especially for those of you that are going overseas. Get out, see the sights, get some fresh air for a change. The worst thing that could happen is that you might actually have a good time. The Army is demanding enough Monday through Friday. Don't spend your weekends mad that you have to go back to work on Monday. Enjoy your time off. Responsibly, of course. Get acquainted with your new surroundings. Get out of your comfort zones and travel while the opportunity is staring you in the face. Take this from a guy that's been doing this for a couple of days. You'll be glad you did it when you're looking back at the time you spent in uniform. Third, be proud of what you do. Less than 1% of Americans will ever have the privilege of wearing our country's uniform. Whether you complete your first enlistment and get out, or decide to stay for a career, there's no better place to get your adult life started than right here in the military. Along the way, you will gain a lot of maturity, learn the value and reward of a hard day's work, and more importantly, represent the United States of America wherever you find yourself in the world. Now, what could be more clear than that? While your high school classmates are living in the same hometown and doing the same stuff you did in high school, you will be out making a difference on behalf of millions of people that you'll perhaps never meet and will probably never even say thank you. But as professionals, we do our duty because it's the right thing to do, not for personal recognition. I'm not going to say that every day is going to be easy, but the Army is definitely an organization where you can get back what you put in. Work hard, listen more than you talk, and understand that when you meet someone out in the community, that you might be the only soldier that they will have ever met. What impression do you want to leave with them? Just a little something. I'd be remiss if I neglected to thank the families in attendance, as well as those that could not be here, because without your support, understanding, and patience, none of this could have been possible. Lee Iacocca, the president and CEO of Chrysler in the late 70s until the early 90s, once said that no matter what you've done for yourself or for humanity, if you can't look back on having given love and attention to your own family, what have you really accomplished? Often we as soldiers take our families for granted as we move through our careers. We drag you around the world to places you have never been, or in some cases, never had any intention of going. More often than not, we ourselves are not able to be there to support you or the children on your special days. So on behalf of those that forget to say it often enough, thank you for the tireless support and understanding that is required in order to support your soldier. We all appreciate it. In closing, I'd like to share a quote from a Greek philosopher, Pericles, a philosopher that predates Socrates, who regarded himself as a pioneer of wisdom. Pericles is famous for his insistence on ever-present change in the universe. When I ran across this quote, I just thought I had to include it this morning because it best represented the warrior spirit that each of you should strive to emulate in your own careers. Out of every 100 men, 10 shouldn't even be there. 80 are just targets. 9 are the real fighters, and we are lucky to have them, for they make the battle. But the one is a warrior, and he will bring back the others. Strive to be that one in your own careers, the one that others look for guidance. Don't be happy to just be part of the crowd. Remember that by raising your hand and swearing your oath, you just became part of that top 1%. Again, thank you for the opportunity to invite me here as your guest speaker. It's been my privilege to take a few minutes and share my thoughts. Best of luck to each and every one of you as you graduate today and move on to the next chapter in your careers. Fire strong, always on target, set the standard. Let's graduate.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the class mentor will present graduation certificates to 14 Hotel and 14 Sierra, classes 004 and 14. Staff Sergeant Alvarado and Staff Sergeant Williams of the 2nd Battalion, 6th Air Defense Artillery Regiment will officially welcome each soldier in the defense branch. They will also present each soldier with a chrome-plated dog tag inscribed with the warrior ethos and the Army values, completing their indoctrination process. Please feel free to move out and take pictures. The class average for 14 Hotel, class 004-14, is 95.65%. The class average for 14 Sierra, class 004-14, is 95.8%. Although very competitive, some members distinguish themselves by their exceptional performance. The Distinguished Honored Graduate for 14 Sierra, class 004-14 is Specialist Pup with a course average of 98.5%. He will proceed to the Ohio National Guard. The Distinguished Honored Graduate for 14 Hotel Class 004-14 is Private Tanner with a course average of 98.3%. He will proceed to Osan Air Base, Republic of Korea. The Warrior Spirit Leadership Award is given to the student who exceeds standards, to include warrior tasks, battle drills, and motivation during the Warrior FTX. The Warrior Spirit Awardee for 14 Sierra Class 004-14 is Private First Class Gonzalez. He will proceed to the North Dakota National Guard. The Warrior Spirit Awardee for 14 Hotel Class 004-14 is Private Coolrod. He will proceed to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Each class is assigned the task of writing a history paper on air defense artillery. The author of the top history paper for 14 Hotel Class 004-14 is Specialist Tamayo. He will proceed to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. The author of the top history paper for 14 Sierra Class 004-14 is PV2 Wheelis. She will proceed to the Florida National Guard. is being awarded to Specialist Pup and PB2 Tanner for meritorious achievement and academic excellence while attending the Air Defense Artillery School. They are being recognized as distinguished honor graduates for 14 Sierra and 14 Hotel classes 004-14. Their efforts reflect great credit upon themselves, the 7th Standard Battalion, and the United States Army. The Certificate of Achievement is being awarded to Private First Class Gonzalez and Private Coolbrock for displaying tremendous character and warrior spirit during the 2nd Battalion, 6th Air Defense Artillery Warrior Field Training Exercise. You proved to be the top warriors with your desire to excel above and beyond the warrior task and battle drills. The Certificate of Achievement is being awarded to Specialist Tamayo and QB2 Wheelis for displaying insight and understanding of the Air Defense Artillery history, military history, the warrior ethos, and the roles of an American soldier. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the remainder of the graduates will receive their diplomas, alphabetically, by rank. Once again, feel free to move about and take pictures. Hotel, Class 004-14, Private First Class Davenport. We'll proceed to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. We'll proceed to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. We'll proceed to Okinawa, Japan. PB2, Ceccolini. We'll proceed to Okinawa, Japan. PB2, Green. We'll proceed to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Oklahoma. to the Ohio National Guard. Private First Class Turnip Seed will proceed to the Mississippi National Guard. PB2 Johnson will proceed to Port Irwin, California. PB2 Thompson will proceed to the North Dakota National Guard. Private Borden will proceed to Port Irwin, California. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for the newest air defenders in the United States Army. The Distinguished Honor Graduate from 14 Sierra, Class 004-14, will now say a few words on behalf of the graduating class.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, fellow class members of Class 004-14. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Today we graduate from AIT and complete our transformation from civilians to soldiers in the United States Army. We've all come a long way in these many weeks of training. When we first arrived, the majority of us didn't know the person to the left or right. However, during training, we grew into a team, able to overcome our differences and come together to complete the tasks laid before us. Each day presented itself with challenges, whether it was early wake-ups, room inspections, APFT, written tests, or practical exams. Thankfully, our instructors and cadre provided us with the knowledge and guidance to overcome these obstacles. I would like to extend our gratitude to Sergeant Major Newman for his mentorship. The insight and advice he shared was much appreciated. Lastly, I would like to thank my fellow classmates who pushed me to do my best. For those going back to their respective states National Guard units or moving forward into the active service, I wish you the best of luck and look forward to the opportunity to work with you in the future. First to fire!
Set the standard!
Distinguished Honor Graduate from 14 Sierra, Class 004-14, will present the class mentor with a token of appreciation.
Sergeant Major Newman, thank you for mentoring our class.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. For the exit of the official party, the benediction, the playing of the ABA March, and Army Song. Let us pray. May the Lord bless and keep you. May God's face shine upon you. May God grant you the blessings, never having to use your newly acquired skills of war. But when necessity dictates that you do, may God give you the courage and valor to defend our nation and return our world to peace. Bless them and their families. Grant them safe journeys to the duty stations. We ask this in God's name. Amen.
In the dawn's early light, through the dark of the night, the air defense artillery stands first for liberty. We're air defense artillery, proud to keep our country free. First and fire both night and day, we're ADA. March along, sing our song with the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. And it's high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the gate is loud and strong. For wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along.
Class leader, post!
Here, Sergeant! Moving, Sergeant!
Take charge!
Sound off!
Sound center!
Parade rep!
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the 2nd Battalion, 6th Air Defense Artillery Regiment, we thank you for attending. This concludes today's ceremony. Please feel free to move about and congratulate your graduates. There will be a formation for 3 minutes before leaving for graduation. Thank you.